Hello, everybody. Welcome back to all of my beautiful soul tribe. This is Catherine, and you are watching Tarot Talk Live. Let's get right into it. And I did promise you guys we were going to be coming back with the what, and we are here with exactly that. We've already did an in-depth look into the who and the where. We actually looked at all. Six, we looked at who, where, what, when, why, and the how into this Nancy Guthrie case. Go and check out the previous couple of readings that I did on this topic, focusing on these things. Next, we're going to be getting into the senses, the five senses. What was heard? Okay. What was heard? What was seen? What was smelled? Okay. What was perhaps a taste in someone's mouth? Okay. What is significant about what someone felt, or the feel, or touching something? Okay. A texture, perhaps, or a feeling. Um, you know, So we're going to be looking at the senses, and we're also going to look at the sixth sense, which is intuition. And we're going to see what the cards say about those things in the next reading. But right now, we are looking at the what, okay? And then we'll look at the five senses, and then we'll finish up with the when, the why, and the how. All right, just to kind of break things up a bit for you guys. But let's go ahead and get into it, okay? So first of all, you guys, what did we miss? Okay, because obviously something was missed. Obviously, what is it that we know? So there's obviously things that we missed, but they're all we likely already know. Things that we've already even addressed, or maybe even have stated, or have seen come across, or through the cards multiple times. And maybe things that have not come to fruition in the news media, right? Or from the sheriff's office or the FBI, any of those factors. Maybe it's something we're just going to find out later. So we're going to take a closer look at that. Just what? What the what? Okay. So what equals tangible things, right? When you think of tangible, able to see, feel, touch, right? Hold. Something that you can look at, something that you can say, aha, that is what it is. Okay. So we're going to get closer, but the certain specific questions that we're going to ask are going to matter. So tonight I am going to be looking at two of the oracle decks that we have been using early on in this case, and I want to bring them back in because, again, we got a lot of messages about this case from these two decks. So starting with Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Oracle deck, and this is by Stacy DeMarco. Okay, very beautiful deck, if you will. Anyone who's interested in knowing more about these decks, I will be happy to provide that information to you. I'm going to have to take the time to put some of these recommended decks in the description box so you guys have a reference of some of the cards that I use. Okay, so first thing we want to look at, okay, with law enforcement. What does law enforcement know? What does the law enforcement No. Let's just give it a quick little shake and a ruffle. All right. Okay. So that just wanted to come on out there. So let's take it. So rest. Okay. This is the card that relates to hypnos, rest, hypnotized. That is almost an energy like a root word. You think of hypnotize, you think of sleep, something being at rest. Also, there's an energy of not necessarily seeing, and this is a Grim Reaper. Okay, do you see what this person is holding? Standing behind this person here. So they're holding what the Grim Reaper holds. All right. So number 20, and this is dark energy here. Let's look this up here. Let's go ahead and read this for you. Hypnos. Priorities, rest and sleep. Okay. Allow yourself to dream. Definitely very important, y'all. Okay. You need the grace of rest to be at your best. Okay. That was meant to rhyme and it definitely gave. Okay. The unconscious has great depth and power. So explore it if you can. Use your imagination. The unconscious has great depth and power. So explore it if you can. Use your imagination. Do not stay asleep to your potential. Awaken to your power. Do not stay asleep to your potential, but awaken to your power. Duality would be asleep, awake, rest, and activity. That is like the opposite ends of the spectrum here. So, in this busy world, people are having more and more problems with turning off and getting some quality rest and sleep. Interesting. Now, in asking the question, what does law enforcement know? We have this Grim Reaper that is standing just outside the peripheral, or what they believe to be the peripheral view of this other person here. Interesting. The ancients, though, knew how important sleep was, how it is even a crucible for processing ideas and invention. Hypnos was the Greek god of sleep and was born from Nis or Nyx or night, the dark mother. A twin, he was often pictured hand in hand with his brother, Thanatos or death. Often, the brothers would shadow each other in their work. While featuring in a number of myths, Hypnos was generally seen as a benevolent and relief inducing deity and honored for his place in well being and health. Think about it. They say it's good to get plenty of sleep, and you also repair your health during sleep and things of that nature. So that makes sense. And also the fact that his brother's name was stood for death is also interesting because they say that sleep is just like, a small, I don't know, taste of death. You know what I mean? But you wake up, right? But it's like that same sense of not being aware or on a conscious level. Okay. Or is that true? Okay. Is that true? Are you conscious or not when you're asleep? Often, the brothers would shadow each other in their work. While featuring in a number of myths, Hypnos was generally seen as a benevolent and relief inducing deity and honored for his place in well being and health. Temples to Hypnos were often constructed in sanctuaries and healing places. The Greeks also recognized that too much sleep could be a symptom of depression or lethargy. I don't have to read that again, but y'all heard me. Okay? Too much sleep now. Okay? Continually disconnecting from the world by slipping hand in hand with Hypnos may well mean you are depressed or lacking in energy both situations for which you should reach out and seek professional assistance. I'm going to tell you right now, there it is. So if you have a friend or you know someone who centers their situation around sleep or sleep being a major issue or focus for this person, check on them and make sure that they're okay. Just kind of definitely allow that person to know that, you're there for them and, and try to assist them in any way possible, right? But sleep is definitely something that is necessary. Now, it says in one story, Hera bribes Hypnos to practice his art on Zeus so that her favorite Heracles gets to make yet another outrageous escape. This is about as naughty as Hypnos gets. Okay, so wait a minute. So basically, Hera bribes Hypnos to practice his art on Zeus so that her favorite Heracles gets to make yet another outrageous escape. So I guess her father was Zeus, right? Or just putting Zeus to sleep. I don't know if her father was Zeus, but putting Zeus to sleep here so that Heracles can get away, escape, basically. It says in this case, he receives a beautiful bride for his trouble. So worth it. In our modern lives, there is also another time that hypnosis favors, or that hypnosis favor should be courted, and thus in bleh, and that is in anesthesia. Oh, okay. And that is in anesthesia. I get it. If you are undergoing an operation, why not give a little libation to hypnos prior to the procedure, as it is traditionally hypnos who will be guiding the hand of your anesthetist as they artfully send you to a painless sleep. I laugh at that because I call on Jesus, okay? But whatever floats your boat, but I call on Jesus, all right? So that is the ultimate anesthesia here, okay? So, but yes, I understand what they're trying to say here. Interesting. So the plant companion, if you want to know just further information, is poppy, the poppy seed. The crystal companion is howlite. So, and poppy seeds were often known for their sleep like qualities that you receive from taking poppy seeds. All right. Almost like another popular recreationally used situation. So, yeah, hypnos is that energy of escape, escapism, and also depression. Okay. It's depression, it is escapism. It is also turning away from something that you must deal with one way or the other. Also, reality. The Grim Reaper can mark as reality. Do you know what I'm saying? One's mortality. And it's like this person is not acknowledging it. They're not giving any homage, any respect to that Grim Reaper whatsoever. See what I mean? They're looking every direction except for at it. You see what I mean? But the Grim Reaper is standing there like, buddy, I'm not going anywhere. Whether you want to acknowledge me or not, I'm going to be right here. Avoidance here. So, in talking about what does law enforcement know, whatever law enforcement knows, they don't want you to know. There is an energy of looking the other way. Even if law enforcement knew something, you would be the last one that they tell, right? And this is an energy of, listen, this is for a protective purpose. This is for protection, right? And interesting that I did mention that there are healing properties when it comes to sleeping, right? Things are being done while you're at rest. While we're sleeping, while we're looking in a different direction, looking the other way, that Grim Reaper is in the background. They're waiting. They're waiting. There's going to be a revelation. There's an energy of sleep right now, but there's going to be an awakening that is going to take place in due time. Now, the next card that came out here, number 14, is Beauty, Mermaid. Okay, Mermaid, Beauty. And this is deep. Okay, this is part of the deep crew. So we have deep, dark, and dangerous. And this is part of the deep crew. Let's get to that. I'm not going to spend too much time on that energy, but I did want to look at it really quickly. So beauty, okay, it's a high value, right? When it illuminates and inspires, but it is in the eve, or I'm sorry, I can't see, but it is in the eye of the beholder. It's in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is a high value when it illuminates and inspires. So if someone is lighting up others, if they're lit up themselves, if they inspire others, if they inspire themselves, they are lighting up the world. This is considered beautiful, which is the opposite of the situation of this dark energy here. You get it? You dig? Wanting to be asleep all the time, wanting to not be illuminated, wanting to be in a dark place. Close the curtains, dim the lights, right? Turn the lights out. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to look at others. I don't want to look at myself. I don't want others to see me, right? So there's that energy of dark and light, and you can clearly see dark versus light. If you look at both of these cards here very closely, one has a very dark presence. You can see even in the background here, and you can see the light in this energy here. You even see all of the light that is coming from above. Even with the darker clouds, there's light coming out of those clouds. Okay, there's beauty here. This is inspiration. There's the energy of lighting up even the darkest of dark moments or clouds or situations. The energy from within this person, the beauty from within, is causing light to illuminate around them. Hello? Do you see what I'm saying? So it is definitely a high value when you're in a situation where you have light in you to carry around in this dark, dark place called the world that we live in. Okay? The world that we live in. But there's an energy of wanting to remain or looking in a different direction. See how there's an energy of looking towards the light because the darkness is so close that they know that it's there. They're just kind of like playing it off by looking in a different direction. And I feel that this is the energy behind this question of what does law enforcement know? And y'all see the color of this person's hair. Y'all see this person in here. It's just very striking. But what do they know here? Well, someone is definitely could be sinking. Somebody's definitely, there's energy of in a dark place and trying to remain or keep their head above water. Okay, someone is in a very extremely dark place and they're trying their best to remain above water here. Okay. That's what I ascertained from all of that. I just wanted to give you a little background into the energies of the cards here, which I'm glad that I did. But I feel that law enforcement knows that someone is close. The Grim Reaper is near, very, very close, almost too close for comfort. It's like this person is holding themselves together because they realize how close this Grim Reaper is. And it's such a dark situation that they have to literally look the other way as to not throw this person off, right? That's obviously looking for clues or cues. But this person has their head completely turned and their back turned. They're not trying to alert this person in any ways that they know that they're standing there watching. Ooh, clock that. So, what will law enforcement find? What will law enforcement find? We're looking at the what right now. What will law enforcement find? What will law enforcement find? Or what did they find? What? Okay. Resilience. Okay, resilience. And that appears to look like Medusa with the snakes in their head. That is awful. Okay, but with resilience here, this is number 8 on the deep end of the spectrum. Goodness me. Being resilient, especially when it comes to having some sort of toxic thoughts. There's some sort of toxic thought process. Something toxic, mentally toxic, toxic thinking, toxic thoughts. Law enforcement has found out that there is someone that is very mentally toxic and ill. Mental illness is what I'm getting. Keeping their head above water. Keeping their head above water has to do also with mental illness. It has to do with being able to stay afloat, not fall into the waves of depression. Do you understand? Not being overwhelmed. Okay? Not being taken under here. Do you see that? That's almost like someone who's tormented. Keeping their head above water here, but they have beauty within that is keeping them there. But someone's in mental torment. Someone is in mental torment. And this is what is going to be found by law enforcement. Let's see. Let's look under the deck here. So we have darkness. Y'all, I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. I just said this. There is some sort of darkness. This says NYX here. NYX. I just said this. So, resilience, toxic dark thoughts. And then we have darkness here underneath the deck. This is very dark. Do you understand? Someone has dark thoughts about dark things, things that you wouldn't even begin to imagine here. Law enforcement is going to find something that is going to be very disturbing to even grasp mentally. Something very disturbing. Something very disturbing here. I can't make this up. I see treasure behind the scenes, so there's something that has to do with some sort of, let's just say, reward. Okay? There is some sort of, and my hand is itching at the same time. Everything's happening. So there's some sort of reward. And with Nyx here, which is also very interesting, I feel like someone is going to mess up, or they're going to make a mistake. This person is really has their mind is all over the place. Do you see what I mean? Very toxic energy. I'm sure this person is not thinking things through properly. But law enforcement is going to find something very toxic, very twisted here. Find out that someone is mentally toxic or twisted, okay? So what have we missed? And then we're going to look at another oracle deck here, you guys. What have we missed? What have we missed? No. We'll look at that next. What will law enforcement do? Okay, so we see what they have found. What will they do based on their findings? What will law enforcement do based on what they know that they're not telling us? Someone that's very close, that is the actual Grim Reaper here. What are they? Listen. What will they find and what will they do? What will law enforcement do with this information? Okay, so we have the underworld. Listen, this gets darker and darker, and this is number 7. Okay, this is number 7. So this is the deep. Okay, Hades, the underworld. They're going to go undercover, or they're going to go to the underworld. Someone's going to go undercover in the underworld, or there's going to be some sort of an undercover operation in the underworld or about the underworld. They have found information that has led them in this direction. Okay, things are getting ready to get really tricky. Under the deck here, we have warning. I'm telling you right now, Kelpie. Number 5, deep. This is warning. I'm telling you right now, the underworld and warning. So this is cautious. There's energy of things are really getting ready to get tricky. Things are getting ready to get tricky. Someone's going to go past, certain boundaries to get information here, to find out exactly what and why things took place. What are we looking at and why? What is happening here? So let's look at this Witching Hour Oracle deck now. And this is by Lorraine Anderson. The Witching Hour by Lorraine Anderson. Okay, so let's give it a little bit of a shuffle here, guys. Just a shuffle and a kerfuffle. Just look, see? Let's take that. So we have deep bonds. And our next question is, what have we missed? Number 4, deep bonds. There's some situation where someone has deep and close ties to an individual, and with this person, this lady holding this fox, it could be 2 people that are in a connection. It could be a couple, but this person, this feminine energy is holding on to, is definitely sly, is sneaky, is a slickster or a trickster, so to speak. All right. Under the deck, we have Midnight Moth. This represents some sort of a distraction. So, what have we missed? We have missed someone who is closer and sneakier than we see them to be, because there is someone who's holding on to them, and it's creating a distraction because of the fact that this slick fox, if you will, this sly fox is in this situation, is because they are being held and sheltered and protected and coddled, right, by feminine energies here. So that is what I'm getting. Okay, so we definitely missed someone who has a bit of a closeness here. Uh-oh. So what else is coming out here? Oh, yep. Look at this, y'all. I can't make this up. Again. So we have witching herbs, nourishment, and then we have cloak and dagger, deception. Someone is definitely got their hands in things. They're responsible for making things happen behind the scenes. They're being very manipulative, right? In a just in a very deceptive way, right? This is like the magician in the reverse, being a trickster, okay? Creating some sort of an illusion, but doing it to deceive. And you're distracting. You're creating some sort of an illusion. You're caressing and holding on to this fox as though it's some sort of a sweet little puppy dog, and it's not. It's a fox. Okay. See, there's an energy of knife behind the back, hugging this person. Like, there is nothing safe about being with this person hugged up. Do you see what I mean? That's what we have missed. This person that is hugged up and close, and maybe we haven't missed it, you guys. Once again, there are things that we actually do know. See what I'm saying? And this could very much potentially be that. Again, witching herbs and nourishment here. Okay. Knowing what to do, knowing exactly what to do to make things happen. Someone who's very, very ambitious, okay? They're putting everything together. They've cooked up things on the back end, behind your back. This person has been cooking things up and putting things into motion, basically. With cloak and dagger and witching herbs. This is someone who's doing spells behind your back, or spells behind someone's back, or up to no good. Okay, I was going to say some good, but no good, right? In doing things. this is what we may have potentially missed. And you think of a moth by the flame, right? Very close to this flame, right? That is the risk this person is willing to take. So close that it is going to throw people off. So close that they are able to actually get away with it. Okay, they probably watched a lot of movies and wanted to see, can I really get away with this and how? Well, by just, getting away with it, just being so dumb that you're smart, or yeah, so smart that you appear to not be a bad person at all. Okay, so what are we going to find out? What are we going to find out? What are we going to find out about Nancy? What are we going to find out about Nancy? Please watch my previous videos, you guys. I did mention way prior to today that April 23rd, something was going to happen or be revealed. Someone was going to get a message on that date. We have losing sleep here. What are we going to find out? Worried, replaying events and thinking about you. Losing sleep. We're going to find out that there's someone who is not getting any sleep, not getting any sleep, and going over and over things under pressure here under the deck. See, this person is worried. It says time is running out. This person, okay, we're going to find out that this person is definitely under some pressure because of the way that they appear. They're going to appear to be tired. They're going to appear to be someone who has not had sleep in a while, maybe losing some weight, just not themselves. Okay? Not themselves. And that is it. That is it. It is the stress, that the pressure that this person is under is going to show up on this person. It's also mentioning how losing sleep here. And remember, I told you, sleep is how you repair things. This is all about being in a healthy state. And this person is losing sleep. They're depressed. Why? Because they're under pressure. And what does that mean? Being under pressure, being under water. Hello, this reading is coming full freaking circle. Worried about this Grim Reaper. Losing sleep even. But there's an energy of not addressing it, not directly at least, not while others are awake or watching. So there's a sense of going and pretending as though we don't know what is happening. What is the word? Being proactive instead of being reactive. Okay, so that is what's going on here. So we're going to find out this person is losing sleep based on their looks and how they're behaving. Okay. Let's see. What took place? What took place at Annie's house the night that Nancy was taken? What took place at Annie's house earlier in the evening when Nancy was there prior to this situation. Okay, so we got love, hate, and we have fed up, and I believe we got those cards before, but we just got them again. There was a situation where it started off loving and then it turned very hateful. There's a situation where someone was fed up and we have massive regrets fell on the floor. Something took place. Someone got angry. Someone took it out on someone else. They regretted what they did instantly. Under the deck, we have turning your back. Turning your back on someone, that you cared about, perhaps. Okay, we have Smex addiction. So this is also someone with some sort of an addiction. This is someone very toxic. And we've got bumping heads as well under the deck with ashamed. Did someone hit someone in the head? Did they knock someone down? Do you see what is coming through here, y'all? Did someone turn their back and then this toxic person with Smex addiction, this person with some sort of a toxic addiction with heartbreak, you guys, I didn't see that card hiding between Smex addiction and bumping heads. You have heartbreak here. You guys with ashamed. I am telling you, I asked the question, the cards just came out the way they did. Someone did something where they were fed up. Love, hate, fed up, and with massive regrets, they did something that they truly regretted doing. Once they did it, it was like in the moment, the heat of the moment, they were ashamed about this. They're guilty even about what they have done. And this person tried to cover it up. I don't think they did the best job that they think that they did. I think that that's what we're getting, that it wasn't the way they think that it went. They think it went really well, but it really didn't. So let's look at Spirit Shield Oracle back here. What will this change when it comes to Savannah and her sister Annie and their relationship moving forward? What will any of this information change when it comes to Savannah and Annie's relationship moving forward? Okay, so the cards don't lie. Stability in the reverse. What was once stable, where someone felt safe at once, and it was a long-term relationship with stable investments, things feeling secure, this is all in the reverse. There's going to be a serious breach and lack of trust. Look at this protection under the deck. There's going to be such a lack of stability and needing protection. Yeah, there's just an energy of needing protection here. Sorry, guys, you just have to watch certain things that you say. But yeah, there's a need to have some sort of protection because of the lack of trust and stability all of a sudden, because of this information. The connection is going to lack stability. Seriously, this is what the cards are saying. I'm just reading the energy and what the cards are saying. Give us another card, please. Give us another card, please. What will this change when it comes to Savannah? What will this information change when it comes to Savannah and Annie's relationship? That card came out in the reverse. It went out in the reverse and it fell in the reverse too. Look at this. Deception, you guys, in the reverse. What will this change when it comes to Savannah and Annie's relationship moving forward? Deception in the reverse, betrayal, sneaky behavior, don't trust easily, ignoring intuition and manipulation. And this is in the reverse. I feel very strongly there's going to be a sense of being heavily guarded with this protective coming through, protection, being very, very heavily guarded, and that, safeguarded so that this person is not able to do anything here, right? No longer ignoring your intuition. Very interesting. So those someone had some sort of a thought process about this, and I said this before, that Savannah didn't just fall off the bandwagon, and she is thinking some things that were unsaid. It did come out in the cards that she did suspect family, period. Okay. And look, we have peace here under the deck. Okay. Yeah, deception in the reverse and then peace. Right. Because you know what? It's almost like this talks about surrendering to the divine, right? And ending cycles. It's almost like being at peace, okay? Knowing that you're going to be able to really listen to those intuition signals that perhaps you may have received before and maybe counted that information off. But having the peace of knowing what is what and who is who here. But yes. That was absolutely gorgeous. So let's go ahead and look at the tarot messages. Let's look at the tarot messages here, y'all. So we're going to go back to that first question. What does law enforcement know? Okay, and we have Hypnos, and we have this mermaid here. Beauty. Okay. Also, there's the energy of beneath the surface, right? What you don't know beneath the surface. Appearing one way when your head is above water, but things being different beneath the surface. See, look. So we have the Two of Wands. This is all about making plans, or law enforcement perhaps may know that someone is making plans. All right. There's also an energy of thinking about doing something, not doing it yet, or not taking action, thinking about taking action. So maybe law enforcement knows, what someone is planning on doing. They're fully aware of what this person's movements are. That is kind of what I'm getting here. Under the deck, we have the Page of Wands. So this is all about someone taking a risk, or someone who is kind of just out there doing whatever, because they feel that they can get away with it. So, we have the Hierophant here. There is some information that no one else knows. There's information that no one else knows. So they're definitely in the know on some things. What is this beauty energy? Okay, so look, this fell out on my leg. So we have the Tower, okay? Interesting. Keeping their head above water. All right, not drowning in emotion. Staying mentally available. And look, the Tower. Because something, they know that there is a situation that is unraveling. Okay, there's a situation that is unraveling. Under the deck, the Six of Swords. That is an energy of learning lessons. That's also an energy of moving on, going to safer, less chaotic waters here. And this is a sudden change. So there's definitely some speed. There's some speed. Things are picking up. The pace is picking up. Things are taking a sudden turn here. And with beauty and being illuminated, someone is being seen. Stability in, so let's go back. Let's go back. What will law enforcement find? What will they find? What will law enforcement find? What will law enforcement find? Interesting, with the love-hate situation, we have the Knight of Wands here, y'all, with the Nine of Swords. Oh my goodness. Nine of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So this is an energy of someone who's like very, very unhappy, but there's also an energy of leading someone or forcing someone towards a dead end, some sort of betrayal. And there's a level of arrogance here. That Nine of Swords represents trauma, and then followed by the Knight of Wands. So there's someone under, okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Pentacles here underneath the deck. This is all about recognition, seeing something, and we have the Strength card. Holding back. Yep. Okay, so what law enforcement finds, there's an energy of holding back or keeping it to themselves, not sharing. We have the Fool here. This is all about being exposed, being vulnerable, being out there. And they are trying to protect their assets or resources or whatever the case, if this goes to trial or anything of that nature. They are on a tight-lipped situation. Things have been crazy, a fiasco, a circus, whatever you want to call it. But we're honing in on the reins here. What will law enforcement do? What will law enforcement do? We have the Empress and we have the Eight of Pentacles. That Empress is all about abundance. Also about nurturing. with the Eight of Pentacles. So law enforcement is going to be working overtime. There's an energy of an abundance of focus or work. Law enforcement is getting ready to hone in on this investigation. They're getting ready to focus on something. Under the deck, the Four of Pentacles. Look at this. This is all about holding something close, you guys. This is about guarding a situation that you feel is very special, very unique, very valuable to you, and you don't want to let it go, or you don't want to expose it right now. So beautiful. Okay. So anything important that we have missed? Anything else important that we have missed here? Let's look at the Beach Soul Oracle. Anything else important that we have missed? What else do we need to pay attention to that we have missed? Okay, so we have Hand of Cards. Taking a chance, risk, being strategic options, not showing their hand, and gambling. And then we have Ascension. So this person is quietly ascending, or there's an energy of doing something and making moves on the up end of things. Hand of Cards and ascending. Someone is taking a risk. They're getting information, or they're looking to team up. There's an energy of teaming up, you guys, to get information. Some sort of undercover operation is perhaps potentially going down. Now, we're going to leave it there, but that's what it says. Somebody is not showing all of the cards as they're ascending or coming into the information. See, mask under the deck with Cupid's arrow. See, this is like an energy of somebody is getting close, wearing this false mask, or getting close to unveiling the mask, right? And finding out more about individuals that they do not necessarily know or would find out. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's look at the tarot messages really quick. Tell me about Hand of Cards and ascending here. Tell me, okay. So look, y'all, look at this. I'm going to tell you right now, you got 3, and they're all major. So you have the Magician, you have the Death card, and you have the Devil energy. So this is Scorpio, Gemini, Scorpio, strong scorpionic energy, Capricorn energy. Listen. Definitely someone who is very, very manipulative. This is someone who knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing. With Hand of Cards and ascending, they know they're hiding their hand. They're pretending as though they don't. But with the Devil, that you don't trust that energy, right? They're always going to do what they got to do to get what they want, right? And with that Death card is the energy of just kind of like walking away, or there's going to be some sort of an ending, so to speak. Mm-mm-mm. So we have under the deck, we have the Ten of Cups here. And look, the Five of Cups. See, there's an energy of going from being stable, right, to not. Okay, Five of Cups, it's like loss. See, we have stability in the reverse and protection. So again, going from being very emotionally fulfilled to with that Five of Cups, there's going to be some loss. There's some cups that are missing or have been taken. There's infringement here. Okay, and you have the Ten of Pentacles, so you're going to get it right back with the Ace of Cups. Okay, so this is so looking on a larger spectrum, you guys. Okay, looking on a larger spectrum at anything else that is taking place. Hand of Cards and Ascending, Cupid's arrow, and Mask. Someone hiding behind a mask, not wanting to show their hand, right? Because they feel as though if they do, they won't get anywhere. Cupid's arrow. Someone is trying to get close, get lovey-dovey, close contact, so that they can look behind the mask, see who it is, or they can mask themselves even, pretend to be one of them, so that they are none the wiser. And then just when they least expect it, that Ten of Pentacles is coming through with the Ace of Cups. This is a sudden change, a new opportunity. Things are going to get better. So, interesting. So let's close the reading, you guys. Let's go ahead and look at the tarot messages here with stability and protection, because this again talks about Nancy and Savannah and the future of their connection, right? And deception in the reverse and peace. So what do the tarot messages have to say about this? Stability in the reverse and protection. Stability in the reverse and protection. This talks about long-term being upside down. Okay, we have the Star here, and we have the Hierophant. Okay, so this was supposed to be a long-term situation. That Hierophant was supposed to be a marriage, long-lasting, someone you could trust, someone that you felt safe around, right? But it's unstable. You need protection. There's an energy of being aware with the Star, seeing what you need to see with the Hierophant energy here. Knowing what, okay. Okay, here. I feel like there's been tension. There's always been tension. I feel like Annie has always felt like the middle child, or just like she was not seen. And I feel like Savannah's kind of over it at this point. Tell me about deception and peace. deception in the reverse, and peace. Deception in the reverse and peace. All those cards not going to come out in the reverse like that. Deception in the reverse and peace. So we have the Queen of Swords with the this talks about a shift, okay? The closing of a cycle. When it comes down to it, there's an energy of just not being able to trust an individual. All right, this is changing. Something is shifting. That Three of Swords is now in the reverse. So there's an energy of, I'm sorry, it's not in the reverse. It's in the upright. And you have the Three of Wands, okay? The Three of Swords and the Three of Wands. So this is all about loss, losing something. With the Three of Wands, this is an energy of moving forward, keeping it moving. Interesting. Well, I hope that this message resonates with all of you guys. It was one of the longer versions of this, but I wanted to go deep, you guys. I said I was going to go deep, and we are in the next reading, you guys. I promise you even more. When we come back this next video, we are going to be doing something very, very interesting. But I feel the need to explore each of Nancy's 5 senses. Okay, you heard me. Senses. Okay, sight, smell, taste. They say touch or hearing, and feeling. All right. Feeling. This is, the ability to touch and feel. Okay. And then that 6th sense, which is the intuition. So we're going to tap into all of those senses on and with regards to Nancy and how she experienced those senses. All right. I love you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys and your support. I appreciate you guys booking your readings, going and checking out the website, all of the things, and just doing every little silly, quirky thing I ask. All right. I really love you guys so much. Make sure you guys put your yellow hearts in the comment section, or you can hashtag win. Either one will get you entered in your chance to win a free reading with me. All right. I do post the winners on my other channel, Queen Cancer Tarot. So check me out over there. Make sure you're subscribed in all 3 of my channels and that your notifications are on, so you can be watching me when I post my next video. All right, you guys, I will see you later. Take care and God bless. Bye.